Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji. Thank you so much for continuing in this divine journey for Autobiography for Yogi. And in this book, we are going to continue our journey wherein we will proceed to chapter number 14 and chapter number 15, which is an experience in cosmic consciousness. And the second chapter that we will proceed to study today is the Cauliflower Robbery. Okay. In these two chapters, there are very simple nuances and simple experiences wherein it is told that God has a specific way of calling you. He has a specific way of making sure that you are blessed in the right way, in the right direction, in the right Sangat. So these two chapters immensely talk about the why of things, and they talk about how things progress in a Sangat's life. And as you are all aware that Guruji has personally told to read this book. And if your spiritual calling tells you that I should read this book and I should learn a thing or two, then I think this book is calling you also, as well, from that direction. जैसे गुरुजी ने बोला था, you do 10% and I'm going to take care of the remaining 90%. So having said that, it is important for us to follow the path. It is important for us to follow what our Guru tells us. And the power of direct connection is what Guruji loves and advocates as well. So having said that, I'd like to begin and today's reading, which is basically an experience in cosmic consciousness, chapter number 14. But before that, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. With immense blessings and smiles all around, continue reading the book. Okay, from your end. जैसे आपको, if you like reading the Hindi version of it, read the Yogi Kathamrit. If you want an English version of it, then this is the one that you can buy it from anywhere, or you can download it somewhere from the internet, whatever suits you. Okay. So chapter number 14, an experience in cosmic consciousness. In this particular chapter, we are going to see how Sri Yukteshwar, who is Yogananda ji's guru, gives him an enlightenment that how he could, sitting in a balcony, could experience the entire cosmic. Sounds interesting? Now let's read it. I am here, Guruji. My shamefacedness spoke more eloquently for me. Let us go to the kitchen and find something to eat. Sri Yukteshwar's manner was as natural as if hours and not days had separated us. Master, I must have disappointed you by my abrupt departure from my duties here. I thought you might be angry with me. No, of course not. Wrath springs only from thwarted desires. I do not expect anything from others, so their actions cannot be in opposition to wishes of mine. I would not use you for my own ends. I am happy only in your own true happiness. Sir, one hears of divine love in a vague way, but for the first time I am having a concrete example in your angelic self. In the world, even a father does not easily forgive his son if he leaves his parents' business without warning. But you show not the slightest vexation, though you must have put to great inconvenience by the many unfinished tasks I have left behind. We looked into each other's eyes where tears were shining. A blissful wave engulfed me. I was conscious that the Lord, in the form of my Guru, was expanding the small ardors of my heart into the incompressible reaches of cosmic love. Such beautiful lines have been mentioned here. A few mornings later, I made my way to Master's empty sitting room. I planned to meditate, but my laudable purpose was unshared by disobedient thoughts. They scattered like birds before the hunter. Mukunda, Sri Yukteshwar's voice sounded from a distant inner balcony. I felt as rebellious as my thoughts. Master always urges me to meditate. I muttered to myself. He should not disturb me when he knows why I came to his room. He summoned me again. I remained obstinately silent. The third time his tone held rebuke. Sir, I am meditating. I shouted protestingly. I know you are meditating, my guru called out. With your mind disturbed like leaves in a storm, come here to me. Snubbed and exposed, I made my way sadly to his side. Poor boy, the mountains couldn't give you what you wanted. Master spoke caressively, comfortingly. His calm gaze was unfathomable. Your heart's desire shall be fulfilled. Sri Yukteshwar seldom indulged in riddles. I was bewildered. He struck gently on my chest above the heart. My body became immovably rooted. Breath was drawn out of my lungs as if by some huge magnet. Soul and mind instantly lost their physical bondage and streamed out like a fluid piercing light from my every pore. The flesh was as though dead, yet in my intense awareness. I knew that never before had I been fully alive. My sense of identity was no longer narrowly confined to a body but embraced the circumambient atoms. People on distant streets seemed to be moving gently over my own remote periphery. The roots of plants and trees appeared though a dim transparency of the soil. I discerned the inward flow of their sap. The whole vicinity lay bare before me. My ordinary frontal vision was now changed to a vast spherical sight, simultaneously all perceptive. Through the back of my head, I saw men strolling far down Raighat road and noticed also a white cow who was leisurely approaching. When she reached the space in front of the open ashram gate, I observed her with my two physical eyes. As she passed by, behind the brick wall, I saw her clearly still. All objects within my panoramic gaze trembled and vibrated like quick motion pictures. My body masters the pillared courtyard, the furniture and floor, the trees and sunshine occasionally became violently agitated until all melted into a luminescent sea, even as sugar crystals thrown into a glass of water dissolve after being shaken. The unifying light alternated with materializations of form, the metamorphosis revealing the law of cause and effect in creation. An oceanic joy broke upon calm, endless shores of my soul. The Spirit of God, I realized, is exhaustless bliss. His body is countless tissues of light. A swelling glory within me began to envelop towns, continents, the earth, the solar and stellar systems, tenuous nebulae, and floating universes. The entire cosmos, gently luminous like a city, seen afar at night, glimmered within the infinitude of my being. The sharply etched global outlines faded somewhat at the farthest edges. There I could see a mellow radiance even undiminished. It was indescribably subtle. The planetary pictures were formed of a grosser light. The divine dispersion of rays poured from an eternal source, blazing into galaxies transfigured with ineffable auras. Again and again I saw the creative beams condense into constellations, then resolve into sheets of transparent flame. By rhythmic reversion, sextillation worlds passed into diaphanous luster, fire became firmament. I cognized the center of the empyrean as a point of intuitive perception in my heart. Eradicating splendor issued from my nucleus to every part of the universal structure. Blissful Amrita, the nectar of immortality, pulsed through me with a quicksilver like fluidity. The creative voice of God, I heard something as Om. Okay, the vibration of the cosmic motor. Suddenly, the breath returned to my lungs. With a disappointment almost unbearable, I realized that my infinite immensity was lost. Once more, I was limited to the humiliating cage of a body not easily accommodative to the spirit. Like a prodigal child, I had run away from my microcosmic home and imprisoned myself in a narrow microcosm. My Guru was standing motionless before me. I started to drop at his holy feet in gratitude for the experience in cosmic consciousness which I had long passionately sought. He held me upright and spoke calmly, unpretentiously. You must not get overdrunk with ecstasy. Much work yet remains for you in the world. Come, let us sweep the balcony floor, then we shall walk by the Ganges. I fetched a broom master I knew was teaching me the secret of balanced living. The soul must stretch over the cosmogonic abyss while the body performs its daily duties. While we set out later for a stroll, I was still entranced in unspeakable rapture. I saw our bodies as two astral pictures moving over a road by the river whose essence was sheer light. In the spirit of God that actively sustains every form and force in the universe, yet he is transcendental and aloof in the blissful, uncreated void beyond the words of vibratory phenomena. Master explains saints who realize their divinity even while in the flesh know a similar twofold existence, conscientiously engaging in earthly work they yet remain immersed in an inward beatitude. The Lord has created all men from the limitless joy of His being. Expect that souls made in His image shall ultimately rise above all sense identifications and unite with Him. The cosmic vision left many permanent lessons. By daily stilling my thoughts, I could win release from the delusive conviction that my body was a mass of flesh and bones, traversing the hard soil of matter. The breath and the restless mind I saw were like storms which lashed the ocean of light into waves of material forms. Earth, sky, human beings, animals, birds, trees, no perception of the infinite as one light could be had except by calming those storms. As often as I silenced the two natural tumults, I beheld the multitudinous waves of creation melt into one lucent sea. Even as the oceans of the even as the waves of the ocean, their tempest subsiding, serenely dissolve into unity. A master bestows the divine experience of cosmic consciousness when his disciple, by meditation, has strengthened his mind to a degree where the vast vistas would not overwhelm him. The experience can never be given through one's mere intellectual willingness or open mindedness. Only adequate enlargement of yoga practice and devotional bhakti can prepare the mind to absorb the liberating shock of omnipresence. It comes with a natural inevitability to the sincere devotee. His intense craving begins to pull at God with an irresistible force. The Lord, as the cosmic vision, is drawn by the seeker's magnetic ardor into his range of consciousness. इतना ब्यूटीफुली ये एक्सप्लेन किया गया है कि द मोर यू ट्राई टू कनेक्ट विद गुरुजी, द मोर गुरुजी ट्राइज टू कनेक्ट हिमसेल्फ बैक टू यू. एज यू कैन सी गुरुजी यहाँ पे कितने प्यारे लग रहे हैं. द वे ही स्माइलिंग एट अस, ही इज immensely blessing you as well, that he is making sure that his blessings are beyond fathom. In this particular part of the book, in this particular chapter, it is being told that the more we try to connect to our divine, the more we get attracted, the more we get connected through Shraddha and Bhakti. The only thing that we need to do is that we just need to stay humble. That's it. Don't let ego come in between. Don't let logic come in between. That's all. So continuing here, I wrote in my later years the following poem, Samadhi, endeavoring to convey the glory of its cosmic state. Okay? Please pay attention. Vanished the wheels of light and shade, lifted every vapor of sorrow. Sailed away all dawns of fleeting joy, gone the dim sensory mirage. Love, hate, health, disease, life, death. Perished these false shadows on the screen of duality. Waves of laughter, sillas of sarcasm, melancholic whirlpools, melting in the vast sea of bliss. The storm of Maya, stilled by the magic wand of intuition deep, The universe, forgotten dream, subconsciously lurks, ready to invade my newly vacant memory divine. I live without the cosmic shadow, but it is not bereft of me. As the sea exists without the waves, but they breathe not without the sea. Dreams, waking, states of deep, Turiya sleep, present, past, future, no more for me. But ever present, all flowing, I, everywhere, planet, star, stardust, earth. Volcanic burst of doomsday catalysms, creation's molding furnace. Glaciers of silent X rays burning electron floods. Thoughts of all men past, present, to come. Every blade of every blade of grass, myself, mankind, each particle of universal dust, anger, greed, good, bad, salvation, lust. I swallowed, transmuted all into a vast ocean of blood of my own being. Smoldering joy, oft puffed by meditation, blinding my tearful eyes, burst into immortal flames of bliss. Consumed by my tears, my frame, all, my all. Thou art I am thou, knowing, knower, known as one. Tranquil, unbroken thrill, eternally living, ever new peace. Enjoyable beyond imagination of expectancy, Samadhi bliss. Not a not an unconscious state or mental chloroform without willful return. Samadhi but extends my conscious realm beyond limits of the mortal frame to farthest boundary of eternity, where I, the cosmic sea, watch the little ego floating in me. The sparrow, each grain of sand, fall not without my sight. All space floats like an iceberg in my mental sea. Colossal container, eye of all things made. By deeper, longer, thirsty, Guru given meditation comes this celestial samadhi. Mobile murmurs of atoms are heard. The dark earth, mountains, vales, low, molten liquid. Flowing seas change into vapors of nebulae. Om blows upon vapors, opening wondrously their wheels. Oceans stand revealed, shining electrons. Till at last sound of the cosmic drum vanished the grosser lights into eternal rays of all-pervading bliss. From joy I came, for joy I live, in sacred joy I melt. Ocean of mind, I drink all creation waves, four wheels of solid liquid, vapor, light, lift all right. Myself in everything enters the great myself. Gone forever, fitful, flickering shadows of mortal memory. Spotless in my mental sky below, ahead and high above. Eternity and I, one united ray. A tiny bubble of laughter. I am the sea of mirth myself. Beauty exemplified. That's the significance of this fantastic poem. Sri Yukteshwar taught me how to summon the blessed experience at will and also how to transmit it to others if their intuitive channels were developed. For months, I entered into ecstatic union, comprehending why the Upanishads say God is rasa, the most relishable. One day, however, I took a problem to master. I want to know, sir, when shall I find God? You have found him. Oh no, sir, I don't think so. My guru was smiling. I am sure you aren't expecting a venerable personage adorning a throne in some antiseptic corner of the cosmos. I see, however, that you are imagining that the possession of miraculous powers is knowledge of God. One might have the whole universe and find the Lord elusive still. Spiritual advancement is not measured by one's outward powers, but only by the depth of his bliss in meditation. Ever new joy is God. He is inexhaustible. As you continue your meditations during the years, He will beguile you with an infinite ingenuity. Devotees like yourself who have found the way to God never dream of exchanging Him for any other happiness. He is seductive beyond thought of competition. हम गुरुजी के पास आ गए, हमें कहीं और जाने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. How quickly we vary of earthly pleasures. Desire for material things is endless, Man is never satisfied completely and pursues one goal after another. The something else he seeks is the Lord, who alone can grant lasting joy. Outward longings drive us from the hidden within. They offer false pleasures which only impersonate soul happiness. The lost paradise is quickly regained through divine meditation. As God is unanticipatory, ever newness, we never tire of Him. How can we be surfeited with bliss delightfully varied throughout eternity? I understand now, sir, why saints call the Lord fathomable. Even everlasting life could not suffice to appraise him. That is true, but he is not near and dear. After the mind has been cleared by Kriya Yoga of sensory obstacles, meditation furnishes a twofold proof of God. Ever new joy is evidence of his new existence, convincing to our very atoms. Also, in meditation, one finds his instant guidance, his adequate response to every difficulty. I see, Guruji, you have solved my problem. I smiled gratefully. I do realize now that you have found God, that I have found God, for whenever the joy of meditation is returned subconsciously during my active hours, I have been subtly directed to adopt the right course in everything, even details. Human life is beset with sorrow until we know how to tune in with the divine will, whose right course is often baffling to the egoistic intelligence. God bears the burden of the cosmos. He alone can give us unerring counsel. Now, in this particular chapter, what we learned is that uh, we can connect with our God, we can connect with our spiritual, master, and we can know the spiritual path by knowing the right techniques and by knowing the right, kind of kriya. That's what is mentioned in this chapter, that through kriya you can reach a state where the answers start coming to you and the divine perception reaches out. The thing here is that Guruji has made all of this very easy for us by saying that बस यहाँ पहुँच गए हो तो कहीं और जाने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. You just need to make sure that you smilingly attend satsangs, hear satsangs, listen to shabads. You don't understand shabads. I mean, I'm not a Punjabi. I don't even understand. I mean, initially my journey with Guruji was I never really understood what were shabads. But then, thanks to the internet, thanks to many other sangat, I did find out that I can correlate this to this must be an issue with many others as well. But then I got to know what Guruji used to say कि शब्द क्यों सुनना चाहिए. शब्द is about soul cleansing. Okay, so गुरुजी को जो समझाना होगा वो ऑटोमेटिकली समझा देते हैं. सो आई थिंक आई along with many others are also truly blessed that Guruji makes his little ways to reach out to me, to reach out to people like many of us, and he teaches us that you do this and then you'll find me. It's as simple as that. So having said that, I'd like to continue the journey further, wherein we will see a very interesting, it's a very naughty way of how Guruji, how Sri Yukteshwar actually told Yogananda ji to go and steal a cauliflower, and how he was scolded, and then there is a lesson behind it. The lesson behind it is that we just need to follow our Guruji's direction, and that's it. We need to walk the path. Not everything is about winning, right? It's about the experiences. It's about the memory that we carry around, and we still live to tell that tale. I think that's what a satsang is all about. To live life under Guruji's direction is the greatest gift that we can get. It's the greatest blessing that Guruji can ever give us. We just need to walk the path. That's it. Having said that, let us continue with chapter number 15. It's on the name of the chapter, of course, the Cauliflower Robbery. There's a very beautiful picture here, which is basically my Guru's seaside hermitage at Puri. It is shown in page number 161. You can see it here. Okay, so let's start. Master, a gift for you. Those 6 huge cauliflowers were planted with my hands. I have watched over their growth with the tender care of a mother nursing her child. I presented the basket of vegetables with a ceremonial flourish. Thank you. Sri Yukteswar's smile was warm with appreciation. Please keep them in your room. I shall need them tomorrow for a special dinner. A steady stream of visitors poured from the world into the hermitage tranquility. The hermitage is in Puri, which is in Odisha, it's in India. A number of learned men came with the expectation of meeting an orthodox religionist. A supercilious smile or a glance of amused tolerance occasionally uh, betrayed that the newcomers anticipated nothing more than a few pious platitudes. Yet the reluctant departure would bring an expressed conviction that Sri Yukteswar had shown precise insight into their specialized fields of knowledge. My Guru always had young resident disciples in his hermitage. He directed their minds and lives with that careful discipline in which the word disciple is etymologically rooted. I had just arrived in Puri to spend my college summer vacation with my Guru at his seaside hermitage. Built by master and his disciples, the cheerful little two-storied retreat fronts on the Bay of Bengal. I awoke early the following morning, refreshed by the salty sea breezes and the charm of my surroundings. Sri Yukteswar's melodious voice was calling. I took a look at my cherished cauliflowers and stored them neatly under my bed. Come, let us go to the beach. Master led the way, several young disciples and myself followed in a scattered group. Our group surveyed us in a mild criticism. Our Guru surveyed us in a mild criticism. When our Western brothers walk, they usually take pride in unison. Now, please march in two rows, keep rhythmic step with one another. Shri Yukteswar watched us as we obeyed. He began to sing, Boys go to and fro in a pretty little row. I could not, but I admired the ease with which Master was able to match the brisk pace of his young students. Halt. My Guru's eyes sought mine. Did you remember to lock the back door of the hermitage? I think so, sir. Sri Yukteswar was silent for a few minutes, a half suppressed smile on his lips. No, you forgot. He said finally, Divine contemplation must not be made an excuse for material carelessness. You have neglected your duty in safeguarding the ashram. You must be punished. I thought he was obscurely joking when he added, Your 6 cauliflowers will soon become only 5. We turned around at Master's orders and marched back until we were close to the hermitage. Rest a while. Mukunda, look across the compound on your left. Observe the road beyond. A certain man will arrive there presently. He will be the means of your chastisement. I concealed my vexation at those incomprehensible remarks. A peasant soon appeared on the road. He was dancing grotesquely and flinging the arms about with meaningless gestures. Almost paralyzed with curiosity, I glued my eyes on the Herculean spectacle. As the man reached a point in the road where he could vanish from our view, Sri Yukteswar said, Now he will return. The peasant at once changed his direction and made for the rear of the ashram. Crossing a sandy tract, he entered the building by the back door. I left it unlocked, even as Guru had said. The man emerged shortly, holding one of my prized cauliflowers. He now strode along respectably, invested with the dignity of possession. The unfolding farce in which my role appeared to be that of a bewildered victim was not so disconcerting that I failed in indignant pursuit. I was halfway to the road when Master recalled me. He was shaking from head to toe with laughter. That poor man had been longing for a cauliflower. He explained between outbursts of mirth. I thought it would be a good idea if he got one of yours, so ill guarded. I dashed to my room where I found the thief. Evidently, one of the vegetable fixation had left untouched my gold rings, watch, money, all lying openly on the blanket. He had crawled instead under the bed, were completely hidden from casual sight. One of my cauliflowers had aroused his single-hearted desire. I asked Sri Yukteshwar that evening to explain the incident, which had I thought a few baffling features. My guru shook his head slowly. This is very important. You will understand it someday. Science will soon discover a few of the hidden laws. When the wonders of radio burst some year later on an astounded world, I remembered Master's prediction. Age old concepts of time and space were annihilated. No peasant's home so narrow that London or Calcutta could not enter. The dullest intelligence enlarged before indisputable proof of one's aspect of man's omnipresence. The plot of the Cauliflower comedy can be best understood by a radio analogy. Sri Yukteswar was a perfect human radio. Thoughts are no more than very gentle vibrations moving in the ether, such as a sensitized radio picks up desired musical number out of thousands of other programs from every direction. So my guru had been able to catch the thought of the half-witted man who hankered for a cauliflower, one of the countless thoughts of broadcasting human wills in the world. By his powerful will, Master was also a human broadcasting station and had successfully directed the peasant to reverse his steps and go to a certain room for a single cauliflower. Exactly आप correlate कर सकते हैं the way Guruji through his telepathy tells Sangat to do something for another Sangat, tells Sangat to do something for yourself, or do a certain task. We don't understand the logic behind it. After that is done, after a few weeks or months, we realize that okay, this was how it worked, and this is why Guruji had told me to do this. So our only job is to basically follow his hukum. That's it. So intuition is soul guidance, appearing naturally in man during those instants when his mind is calm. Nearly everyone has had the experience of an inexplicably correct hunch or has transferred his thoughts effectively to another person. The human mind, free from the static of restlessness, can perform through its antenna of intuition all the functions of complicated radio mechanisms, sending and receiving thoughts and tuning into undesirable ones. As the power of the radio depends on the amount of electrical current it can utilize, so the human radio is energized according to the power of will possessed by each individual. All thoughts vibrate eternally in the cosmos. By deep concentration, a master is able to detect the thoughts of any mind, living or dead. Thoughts are universally and not individually rooted. A truth cannot be created but only perceived. The erroneous thoughts of man result from imperfections in his discernment. The goal of yoga science is to calm the mind, that without distortion it may mirror the divine vision in the universe. Radio and television have brought the instantaneous sound of sight and remote persons to the firesides of millions. The first faint scientific intimations that man is an pervading spirit, not a body confined to a point in space, but the vast soul which the ego in most barbaric modes conspires in vain to cramp. Please reflect while reading this book how and where things have happened as well in your life, and then this journey will becomes it becomes more memorable and divine and thought worthy. Very strange, very wonderful, seemingly very improbable phenomena may yet appear, which when once established will not astonish us more than we are now astonished at all the science that taught us during the last century. Charles Robert Rickett, Nobel Prizeman in Physiology, has declared, "It is assumed that the phenomena which we now accept without surprise do not excite our astonishment because they are understood. But this is not the case. If they do not surprise us, it is not because they are understood. It is because they are familiar, or for they are familiar for if that which is not understood ought to surprise us, we should be surprised at everything: the fall of a stone thrown into the air, the fall of a stone thrown into the air, the acorn which becomes an oak, mercury which expands when it is heated, iron attached by a magnet, phosphorus which burns when it is rubbed. The science of today is a light matter. The revolutions and evolutions which it will experience in 100,000 years will far exceed the most daring anticipations. The truths, those surprising, amazing, unforeseen truths which our descendants will discover, are even now all around us, staring us in the eyes, so to speak, and yet we do not see them. But it is enough to say that we do not see them, we do not wish to see them. As soon as an unexpected and unfamiliar fact appears, we try to fit into the framework of the commonplaces of acquired knowledge. We are indignant that anyone should dare to experiment further. A humorous occurrence took place a few days after I had been so implausibly robbed of a cauliflower. A certain kerosene lamp could not be found. Having so lately witnessed my guru's omniscient insight, I thought he would demonstrate that it was child's play to locate the lamp. Master perceived my expectation with exaggerated gravity. He questioned all ashram residents. A young disciple confessed that he had used the lamp to go to the well in the backyard. Sri Yukteshwar gave the solemn counsel, "Seek the lamp near the well." I rushed there, no lamp. Crestfallen, I returned to my guru. He was now laughing heartily without compunction for my disillusionment. Too bad I couldn't direct you to the vanished lamp. I was not a fortune teller. With twinkling eyes, he added, I am not even a satisfactory Sherlock Holmes. Yes, sir. When your guru is, always joking, always making, you realize that, you should always smile, you should always make sure that, to be in a satsang, to be in Guruji's grace is not about being serious at all. We shouldn't be like that. It's a place where you meet Atma ka Paramatma se milan ho raha hai, right? So I think this is a place to, feel that kind of happiness, feel that light, and say that, oh, this is what I was, longing for. So here we'll continue. Yeah. I realized that Master could never display his powers when challenged or for a triviality. Delightful weeks sped by. Sri Yukteshwar was planning a religious procession. He asked me to lead the disciples over the town and beach of Puri. The festive day dawned as one of the hottest of the summer. Guruji, how can I take the barefooted students over the fiery sands? I spoke despairingly. I will tell you a secret, Master responded. The Lord will send an umbrella of clouds. You all shall walk in comfort. I happily organized the procession. Our group started from the ashram with a Satsanga banner. Designed by Sri Yukteshwar, it bore the symbol of the single eye, the telescopic gaze of intuition. No sooner had we left the hermitage than the part of the sky which was overhead became filled with clouds as though by magic. To my accompaniment of astonished ejaculations from all sides, a very light shower fell, cooling the city streets and the burning seashore. The soothing drops descended during the 2 hours of the parade. The exact instant at which our group returned to the ashram, the clouds and rain passed away tracelessly. आप ये correlate कर सकते हैं. There are many instances that we start for satsangs and it is so hot and we are not able to go outside, and then suddenly there is a simple breeze flowing by and your entire journey becomes blissful. So there have been many such instances in Bade Mandir and Sangat who have met Guruji. They all articulate this through the satsangs that Guruji was he did all these things to make Sangat's life more easier. Okay, so yeah, so you see how God feels for us. Master replied after I had expressed my gratitude, the Lord responds to all and works for all. Just as he had sent rain at my plea, so he fulfills all sincere desire of the devotee. Seldom do men realize how often God heeds their prayers. He is not partial to a few but listens to everyone who approaches him approaching him trustingly. His children should ever have implicit faith in the loving kindness of their omnipresent father. Sri Yukteshwar sponsored 4 yearly festivals at the equinoxes and solstices. When his students gathered from far and near, the winter solstice celebration was held in Sherampur. The first one I attended left me with a permanent blessing. The festivity started in the morning with a barefoot procession along the streets. The voices of 100 students rang out with the sweet religious songs. A few musicians played the flute and khol kartal, drums and cymbals. Enthusiastic townspeople strewed the path with flowers, glad to be summoned by the prosaic task by our resounding praise of the Lord's blessed name. The long tour ended in the courtyard of the Hermitage. There we encircled our Guru, while students on upper balcony showered us with marigold blossoms. Many guests went upstairs to receive a pudding of chana and oranges. I made my way to a group of brother disciples who were serving today as cooks. Food for such large gatherings had to be cooked outdoors in huge cauldrons. The improvised wood burning brick stoves were smoky and tear provoking, but we laughed merrily at our work. Religious festivals in India are never considered troublesome. Each one does his part, supplying money, rice, vegetables, or his personal services. We can relate this to arranging for satsangs and inviting the Sangat. It becomes so effortless because our God has planned for this. We are just the mediums and interfaces. So, Master was soon in our midst, supervising the details of the feast. Busy every moment, he kept pace with the most energetic young student. A Sankirtan, group chanting, accompanied by the harmonium and hand-played Indian drums, was in progress on the second floor. Sri Yukteswar listened appreciatively. His musical sense was acutely perfect. They are off key. Master left the cooks and joined the artist. The melody was heard again, this time correctly rendered. In India, music as well as painting and the drama is considered a divine art. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, the eternal trinity, were the first musicians. This is true. The divine dancer Shiva is scripturally represented as having worked out the infinite modes of rhythm in his cosmic dance of universal creation, perseveration, and dissolution, while Brahma accentuated the time beat with a clanging cymbals, and Vishnu sounded the holy mridanga or drum. Krishna, an incarnation of Vishnu, is always shown in Hindu art with a flute on which he plays the encapturing song that recalls to their true home the human souls wandering in Maya delusion. Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, is symbolized as performing on the veena. Mother of all stringed instruments, the Samaveda of India contains the world's earliest writing on musical science. Again, factually perfectly articulated. The foundation stone of Hindu music is the ragas or fixed melodic scales. The six basic ragas branch out into 126 derivative raginis or wives and putras, sons. Each raga has a minimum of 5 notes, a leading note Vadi or king, okay, a secondary note Samavadi or prime minister, helping notes Anuvadi meaning attendants, and a dissonant note Vivadi meaning the enemy. Each one of the six basic ragas has a natural correspondence with a certain hour of the day, season of the year, and the presiding deity who bestows a particular potency. Thus, 1. The Hindol raga is heard only at the dawn in the spring to evoke the mood of universal love. Dipaka raga is played during the evening in summer to arouse compassion. Megha raga is a melody for midday in the rainy season to summon courage. Bhairava raga is played in the mornings of August, September, October to achieve tranquility. Shri raga is reserved for autumn twilights to attain pure love. Malkonsia raga is heard at midnights in winter for valor. The ancient rishis discovered these laws of sound alliance between nature and man. Because nature is an objectification of Om, the primal sound or vibratory word, man can obtain control over all natural manifestations through the use of certain mantras or chants. Historical documents tell us of the remarkable powers possessed by Mia Tansen, 16th century court musician for Akbar the Great. Commanded by the emperor to sing his night raga when the sun was overhead, Tansen intoned a mantra which instantly caused the whole palace precincts to become enveloped in darkness. Indian music divides the octave into 22 shrutis or demi-semitones. These microtonal intervals permit fine shades of musical expression unattainable by the Western chromatic scale of 12 semitones. Each one of the seven basic notes of the octave is associated in Hindu mythology with a color and the natural cry of a bird or beast. Do with green and the peacock, Re with red and the skylark, Me with golden and the goat, Fa with yellowish white and the heron, Sol with black and the nightingale, La with yellow and the horse, Si with combination of all colors and the elephant. Three scales, major, harmonic minor, melodic minor, are the only ones which Occidental music employs, but Indian music outlines 72 tathas or scales. The musician has a creative scope for endless improvisation around the fixed traditional melody or raga. He concentrates on the sentiment of definitive mood of structural theme and then embroiders it to the limits of his own originality. The Hindu musician does not read set tones, he clothes anew at each playing the bare skeleton of the raga, often confining himself to a single melodic sequence, stressing by repetition all its subtle microtonal and rhythmic variations. Each among Western Bach among Western composers had an understanding of the charm and power of repetitious sound slightly differentiated in 100 complex ways. Ancient Sanskrit literature describes 120 talas or time measures. The traditional founder of Hindu music, Bharata, is said to have isolated 32 kinds of tala in the Song of the Lark. The origin of tala or rhythm is rooted in human movements, the double time of walking, and the triple time of respiration in sleep, when inhalation is twice the length of exhalation. India has always recognized the human voice as the most perfect instrument of sound. Hindu music, therefore, largely confines itself to the voice range of these three octaves. For the same reason, melody relation of successive notes, is stressed rather than harmony relation of simultaneous notes. The deeper aim of the early Rishi musicians was to blend the singer with the cosmic song which can be heard through awakening of man's occult spinal centers. Indian music is a subjective, spiritual, and individualistic art aiming not at symphonic brilliance but at personal harmony with the oversoul. The Sanskrit word for musician is Bhagavarthar, he who sings the praises of God. Vah. The Sankirtans or musical gatherings are an effective form of yoga or spiritual discipline, necessitating deep concentration, intense absorption in seed, thought, and sound. Because man himself is an expression of the creative word, sound has the most potent and immediate effect on him, offering a way to remembrance of his divine origin. Shabad. Exactly, same cheese. The Sankirtan issuing from Sri Yukteshwar's second story sitting room on the day of the festival was inspiring to the cooks Amidst the steaming pots, my brother disciples and I joyously sang the refrains, beating time with our hands. By sunset, we had served our hundreds of visitors with khichdi, rice and lentils, khichdi, vegetable curry and rice pudding. We laid cotton blankets over the courtyard. Soon the assemblage was squatting under the starry vault, quietly attentive to the wisdom pouring from Sri Yukteshwar's lips. His public speeches emphasize the value of Kriya Yoga and a life of self respect, calmness, determination, simple diet, and regular exercise. A life of self respect, calmness, determination, simple diet, and regular exercise, plus Kriya Yoga. A group of very young disciples then chanted a few sacred hymns. The meeting concluded with Sankirtan. From 10 o'clock until midnight, the ashram residents washed pots and pans and cleared the courtyard. My guru called me to his side. I am pleased over your cheerful labors today and during past week of preparations. I want you with me. You may sleep in my bed tonight. This was a privilege I had never thought would fall to my lot. We sat a while in a state of intense divine tranquility. Hardly 10 minutes after we had gotten into bed, Master rose and began to dress. What is it? What is the matter, sir? I felt a tinge of unreality in the unexpected joy of sleeping beside my guru. I think that a few students who missed their proper train connections will be here soon. Let us have some food ready. Guruji, no one would come at 1 o'clock in the morning. Stay in bed. You have been working very hard, but I am going to cook. At Sri Yukteshwar's resolute tone, I jumped up and followed him to the small, daily used kitchen adjacent to the second floor inner balcony. Rice and dal were soon boiling. My guru smiled affectionately. Tonight you have conquered fatigue and fear of hard work. You shall never be bothered by them in the future. As he uttered these words of lifelong blessings, footsteps sounded in the courtyard. I ran downstairs and admitted a group of students. Dear brother, how reluctant we are to disturb Master at this hour. One man addressed me apologetically. We made a mistake about train schedules, but felt we could not return home without a glimpse of our Guru. He has been expecting you and is even now preparing your food. Sri Yukteswar's welcoming voice rang out. I led the astonished visitors to the kitchen. Master turned to me with twinkling eyes. Now that you have finished comparing notes, no doubt you are satisfied about our guest really did miss their train. I followed him to his bedroom in a half hour later, realizing fully that I was about to sleep beside a godlike guru. So this ends chapter number 15, which is the cauliflower robbery. As you can imagine, it is not about cauliflower robbery alone, rather a deeper spiritual sense has been highlighted in this particular chapter, where we get to know a lot of things, that what we do in our Guruji's saran, what we do in Guruji's Sangat, why we are directed कि कितनी संगत आने वाली है, how many कितने लोगों का लंगर बनने वाला है, अगर कोई लेफ्ट आउट हो गया है, कोई संगत ट्रैफिक में फंस गई है, एंड गुरुजी इंस्टेंटली टेल्स द सेवादार्स दैट नो देयर आर सम मोर पीपल हु आर कमिंग. सो आई थिंक ये एक्सपीरियंसेस हम लोग डे इन डे आउट करते हैं. द पीपल हु ऑर्गेनाइज द सत्संग्स एंड अरेंज फॉर द लंगर, शुक्राना टू देम ऑल्सो. So I would like to say that this book has not just been a revelation for the people who read it, but also to the people with whom you talk about it. So their lives are also going to be blessed beyond their imagination, because this is a very practical book, like our dearest practical guru. Having said that, I'd like to end today's narration, and with your help, with your divine I would say support, I am able to continue reading this book. This also is a blessing. Without Guruji's direction, nothing is possible. So अपने मन को साफ रखिए, हंसते रहिए, मुस्कुराते रहिए. जब भी आपको मौका मिले किसी को हेल्प करने का, डोंट लूज दैट. एंड गुरुजी जैसे कहते हैं, हमें बार बार कहते हैं कि मन हो चंगा तो नलके का पानी भी गंगा. At the same time, I'd like to explain some things about you, that just follow Guruji's path. बस 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 यही करने से ही हम लोग, we will be closer to Guruji. Our Guruji will smile back at us. He is always wanting कि हम लोग सिर्फ वही करें जो वो चाहते हैं. So please भेड़ चाल में ना पड़े. Have direct connection with Guruji. Make sure that Guruji and you maintain that divine love or bond that you have with your mother. Okay, a mother-child relationship is something that even God cannot even describe. Okay, so Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji, and please continue this journey with me. And as I said that keep reading at your own will. This book is not to be finished off in a couple of hours or in a couple of days. That's not the point of the book. The point of the book is to absorb this energy. Okay, Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji.